Hi everyone, my name is Maribel. I'm a counselor here at Merced Adult School, and this week we have a video on how to break unhealthy habits. I created a video on how to create a habit, positive one, obviously, but I think it's important to also look at the bad habits that are roadblocks to what our goals are in reaching our goals. So, did you guys know that obesity and smoking are some of the leading preventable causes of diseases and death in the world? Well, yeah, and that's based on small habits. Like, you eat every day, you don't see it every day, but eventually you will, and you become obese, and then just brings up more problems. Smoking is instant gratification just because it gives you, dopamine, but you don't see the long-term effects until you get lung cancer, right? So all these things, these habits, these unhealthy bad habits can lead to things later on, all because of instant gratification, because we are wanting to get rewarded right away. But it's important that we look at these bad habits so they don't get in the way in our long-term goals. So let's go over what is a habit. It's a behavior that has been repeated enough times to be automatic, as being able to do things without even thinking about, going on autopilot. Like if you're driving home, sometimes you forget, like, how did I get here, right? It's maybe brushing your teeth, putting on your seatbelt, waking up at a certain time and going to bed at a certain time. So that's what a habit could be that a lot of people have. But it is important to understand what it is and the process, the stages. So it is an ingrained pattern of behavior that has 3 stages. So the first stage is like the cue. What triggers it? Your bad habit. For me, my temptation is cheese. Not just any food, like that's my big thing. Pizza, especially quesadillas, pizza, anything with lots of cheese. And the routine, number 2, like the second stage of routine, is the behavior or action to get there and that you need to take in order to get the reward, which is the third stage, and that's the prize, which for me is food, yummy food, cheese. Okay, so just keep in mind that every habit has a reward. Bad or an unhealthy habit, let's define that. It's a habit that stands in opposition to your long-term goals. It's really hindering in you reaching your long-term goals. Whether that's living a healthy life, whether that is maintaining good relationships. And yeah, there are habits that lead to short-term rewards. It's yummy right there and then, but I bet you regret it, and I do, at the end of the day, because I maybe have a stomach ache, I got gas, or I just don't feel good. But it's good at that moment. Same thing, if you're smoking, it's good right there and then, but you're coughing, or you can't sleep at night, you're having chest problems. So long-term goals are more important in the long run. And we need to get out of the idea that instant gratification is not always the best choice in the long run. Okay, so it is important to know why we do what we do in a deeper level and other results of our actions. I know we all want to either be in shape, have more money. Well, habits, whether they're healthy or unhealthy, is really a lack of awareness of our actions and whether they're serving us or not, especially for our long-term goals, right? You can't succeed without having great habits. And that's the truth. You can't succeed in any of your goals if you don't have great habits. So, for example, your bank account is lagging measure of financial habits. So you don't need more money, you just need better financial habits. Same thing with your weight. So your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. That's mine. You don't need to lose weight, you just need to have better eating habits. So it really comes down to your habits if you want to make any change, right? So your knowledge is lagging measures of learning and reading habits. So you're not dumb. You just need better learning and reading habits, right? So habits need to change whether they're good or bad, healthy or unhealthy. So every action you take is kind of like a vote for the type of person you want to become. So small habits matter so much, but it does reinforce the person you want to become. It really acts in alignment with the person you want to be. So yeah, goals are important, and they do serve a purpose. They give us a sense of direction and clarity, and help with like filtering what to say yes to and what to say no to. But at the end of the day, habits do add up over months and years, because the cost of your good habits in the present, and the cost of your bad habits is in the future. Let me repeat that again. The cost of your good habits is in the present, and the cost of your bad habits is in the future, if you think about that. You can create good habits and start creating the life that you want right now, or you can have bad habits and then in the later suffer from them. You will pay for it later, and not in a good way. So they do say fake it until you make it, and I believe in that. You might say, okay, I'm not healthy, but you can say I'm healthy, right? And you might not look it, but then you start doing, you start working out, you start walking, you start eating better. At some point, your brain won't like the mismatch. I'm like, well, don't be lying to yourself, right? You know you're not healthy. But let the behavior lead the way and create evidence to reach your new identity. So even though you might not be healthy, if you tell yourself, I'm healthy because I'm walking, that's your evidence, because I'm eating better, because I decided to eat this apple instead of eating this donut, like in my picture. So yes, go ahead and fake it till you make it, and make sure that that behavior, what you're doing, leads the way to creating the person you want to be. And that's with these healthy habits. But let's focus on how to be more, break these bad habits. So it's really important to understand your why. It's always why, the why. The reason why you want to break the unhealthy habit. It's important to have that. If you don't, there's no way you're going to start. So what is a clear, well-defined, compelling reason for breaking the unhealthy habit? To be more motivated. So it is important to write down a long list of reasons why you want to break it. So keep that list on you, whether it's on your phone or you have a list written down, put it in your pocket. And whenever you're craving something, because that's one thing, if you crave it, you start craving it, then you look at your list and this is your why. And remember that, right? So let's say, for example, my unhealthy habit is eating like bad food for you. They are not good for you. Lots of carbs, all these bad foods that are not healthy for you. That's my bad habit, my eating habits, eating bad stuff that are not good for me. So let's make that list. Why do I want to? So I want to look and feel healthier. I want to be a head turner. I want to buy cute clothes. I want to live a life with quality as well as have a quantity of life, meaning live longer. I want to enjoy taking pictures of myself, full body. I want to see my children grow and have their own kids. I want to be able to be active and go on adventures without having any health problems or breathing problems, because I'm so out of shape. I want to fit in comfortably in a roller coaster ride. I want to look good naked. I want to be able to do a photo shoot comfortably. These are my reasons why. Most of them are actually true. You can also create a list of your pros and cons of having this habit. There are pros of, you know, eating yummy food, right? It tastes good. That's a pro. You can eat anything you want, whenever you want, and however much you want. You can try food of different culture. You're exposing your tongue tasting buds to all these different kinds of diverse foods. This is all pro. But now let's look at the cons. You have a high risk of getting cancer. You look unhealthy and not always too attractive. Won't be able to move as easy. You're going a risk of diabetes and many other health problems. Risk of dying of those health problems. You can die. You can become a burden to your family. You might not attract a great partner, and you can't do everything, like every adventure that you want, because you're so out of shape and not healthy, right? So these are just a list of things. It's good maybe if you put it in perspective. There's so many cons compared to pros, so maybe you outweigh it, right? So another way, so creating a list of pros and cons and having a list of your whys, this is important to have, whatever's going to help you, right? So it's important to also create a physical reminder of why you're trying to break the habit. So for me, I want to feel comfortable in clothes. I want to look better in pictures and maybe feel sexy. So I bought a cute dress that I know I would look really cute, if I, was in better shape, and put it right there in my room as a reminder, because I want to live a long life, a healthy life for me and my family, right? So creating something that's gonna help you, like having a mirror in front of you, to remind yourself, hey, you want to look good in that mirror. You look at that dress, you're gonna fit in that dress, right? You want to have that physical reminder whenever you're feeling tempted. Take a picture of it, because you can't carry it everywhere you go, right? This is the dress, and you tell people, show the picture. Is that physical reminder that that's where you want to be. That's what I would do. Or for you, it could be anything else. Identify the reward and try to replace it with the routine. So eating healthy, yummy food is my reward. So what I would do with that is find easy, yummy recipes to replace it with this unhealthy food. If I'm feeling tempted and wanting to eat, a lot of the times it's like I need to be active, right? So I can drink water. If I need something in my mouth, I maybe put in some gum, start chewing. But water, chewing gum, staying active, maybe walking instead if I'm really tempted and I'm like, oh, I'm hungry, right? Or start working out. It just distracts you. You'll get over maybe the hunger pains or just not thinking about it until you have an actual healthy meal, right? So that could be replaced. Like, say you can replace it instead of, the pizza, you can make it like keto friendly. So replace it with something healthier. Instead of eating the pizza with bread, you can eat the pizza with cauliflower bread, which I've actually tried it and it's actually pretty good. It's not cauliflower bread, it's a crust, cauliflower crust. I also like that I replace any kind of like tortilla or anything or breading with pork skins. And then it's still yummy. It's not exactly that I can go buy at the store. I have to make myself. So yeah, there's some downfalls to it. So I have to learn how to cook and not have any problems cooking. But I will replace it. I replace the yummy food with healthier choices. I still need to know what to replace the food that I love. So it's gonna be important for me to plan. It's gonna be important to me to find some good, easy recipes that I can replace the food that I love, like pizza, like tacos, like burgers, and I can make it low carb. So it's gonna be important for me to do that. Have gum and have water all the time when I'm tempted to eat, the food there, right? So dig deep and figure out what is the actual reward that I'm getting from this habit. For me, I just enjoy food that's delicious and fills me up. So I have to keep in mind what fills me up. I know protein like steak fills me up real quick. I can add cheese. I can have a side of veggies with that. And that makes me feel full. I like food that makes me feel like I'm full. So you have to find healthy feeling full food. You know, avocado has got a lot of fat and that fills you up. The steak or any kind of beef fills me up. Protein fills me up pretty quick. And then balance it out, of course, with some vegetables, them good carbs, of course. So really find out what is being the reward. Like I said, for me, it's just having yummy, delicious, savory food. And I can still do it with different foods over here. Okay, so another step is remove as much access to that habit as possibly can. So reduce the temptation. So don't buy unhealthy food. Don't have any bad food that is accessible. Stay away from people who just love to eat a lot of bad food. Try to be with people who maybe are wanting to be healthy and, you know, eat healthy food, or hang out with people who understand you and are not going to tempt you. And, you know, I think it leads on to the next point, and I'll talk about it too with that. Identify the triggers and create an action plan. So it's important. So, okay, you're going to go to a party and you're going to eat bad. What is your action plan? Whether you take some snacks with you or let them know that you are in low keto, if there's anything to be like healthier options there, giving them a heads up, or you preparing yourself and taking some food with you. So always have an action plan in case you run through some scenarios that it's not going to let you, that it's going to create you to do the unhealthy, which is eating a lot of bad food. And of course, it'll be nice to not eat or not go shopping ever again. But the truth is, people around you are going to want to eat unhealthy, and you just have to know what to do in that case, how to say no to someone, how to let people, and it's important, one of the things right here, to say, hey, I'm on a diet and this is my goal, please support me. And of course, people will support you if they're really, you know, wanting you to be happy, if that's what's going to make you happy. So I think it's important to start with a 30-day challenge. So don't always go cold turkey. Sometimes be realistic about it. So this is what's important. Tell others, tell your family, tell the people that live with you, tell your friends, you know, so they can help you. Hold yourself accountable, and they will hold you accountable. Or you can join forums or groups who are in a similar place and have the same goal. It's really important. So understanding your why is important, right? Understanding, having that list to tell you why you don't want to do the habit, or, you know, the reasons why you want to break the bad habit is important. Create a list of pros and cons of this bad habit, because there are always some pros, but there might be a lot more cons, right? Identify the reward to replace it with something else. Remove as much access to that bad habit as you possibly can. Identify the triggers and create an action plan. Always be prepared, you know. And then start with the 30-day challenge first, and make sure you let other people know what your goals are so they can support you. Crossing fingers, right? So understand how to break bad habits, build more productive, and understand the structure of habits in general and how they make your brain tick. You will be more successful, and that's important. So if you are able to just understand how to break a bad habit, then you'll be able to create better habits, because it's just the process, understanding the process, and how you want to be productive. If you understand just the structure of a habit in general, then you'll understand your brain and how it works, which is important. You know, the reasoning is the cognitive thing, part of it. So, and you want to be successful in life, right? So there you go. Hopefully that helps you. Again, it could be any habit, anything that's getting in the way of your big goal. And you know, your ultimate goal is to create positive habits, but you have to work on the bad ones too, because no one's perfect. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to me, make sure you subscribe. Until next week, bye.